Hello, my pups. Welcome to Friday. You know, I gotta be honest with you, dude. I didn't come here with a topic in mind. Ranking sex appeal of D&D races. Oh my god, you're right. Hold on. Big sex. Do not touch. All right, let's see. Bugbear, do not touch, obviously. So a bugbear is, I think, basically just a goblin. And I don't know how to tell you this. I'm not interested in a goblin. Hear me out, Yuan-Ti. Yuan-Ti, big sex, okay? So Yuan-Ti is a snake person, right? They can be a snady, they can be a snake lady, or they can be a snan, parentheses, a snake man, right? Now, here's the thing. Yuan-Ti are supposed to be like an enemy only kind of thing, but the Yuan-Ti is it's like a Yuan-Ti shapeshifter or some shit where they have legs instead of, you know, Sanake. Okay, so now changeling, now hear me out. Big sex. Yeah, changeling is forever big sex. Here, well, we can create another, how do I add another row here? This is S tier for big sex. Yeah, changeling inherently is going to be the number one. They're going to be number one big sex because they can be whatever you want at any time. Changeling can be the worst and the best and the worst. Okay, so here's the thing, right? Are we going to assume a changeling in their base form where they're kind of like a faceless void? Even then, that's kind of big sex if you think about it. Not only can he be, he or she be whatever you want, or he or she or both at the same time, okay? Not only that, it can also be faceless hentai man number 2. You've seen the faceless void from Dota art? Chicks dig faceless voids. Oh my god. Dhampir, D tier, because they're like a vampire but worse. Also because they're literally a corpse. I need you to understand this, a Dhampir is literally a corpse. That's definitely not lore compliant. I'm sorry how to tell you. I'm sorry, but I'm saying it anyway. So a Dhampir is a human and a vampire's child. They are... I don't remember their exact lore. Look up the Cursed Prince. Hold on, I need to look something up really quick. Okay, you have my attention. Wait, not now. Okay, got it. You don't want your Oshi to get banned on stream? Oh, you're so kind. D is full no. Here we go. How's that for the tier list? Well, you don't like B for pretty good? Hey, that's pretty good. Dwagar, oh, that's a full no. I'm sorry, I don't know how to tell you this. Dwarf and Dwagar. I'm not about it. Oh, dwarf. Hold on. Dwagar are like literally dead. Again, they're... F is like for when they're like a corpse, when they're like a literal walking corpse. Dwargar, you understand what dwarf? Oh, actually, you know what? I'm gonna give it a C tier, okay? Because there's that one dwarf from the Hobbit movie, right? The one dwarf that's like that's got like black hair. Killy. Okay, hold on. Okay, now hear me out. Bro can't grow a beard, but he can grow some beautiful long hair, man. Look at this shit. Yeah, he's basically a human. Okay, but I'm using this as a cheat into really? What the hell? Dude, he's got aura. He's a short king. Gimli though? Gimli would be a very mindful lover. Okay, you know what? Actually, I gotta start thinking about, would they be a mindful lover? And I think dwarves, on average, are a very mindful lover. I think they would be very invested in your pleasure and safety in all situations, right? And I bet they have a pretty good sex dungeon, okay? You cannot tell me that a dwarf would not have a killer sex dungeon. Yeah? Gotta love the handmade furniture. Imagine what those arms could do after a day at the forge. Oh shit, going. Oh fuck, you guys are kind of talking up dwarf right now. I'm not gonna lie. Short stack dwarven ladies. The bush would go crazy, bro. If you see art of like a dwarf and she doesn't have a crazy bush, like that's not a dwarf, that's a gnome. Gnomes are a gnope from me. You know what? I'm gonna add one more tier to this. Hold on. Like, nope. Nope. That's gonna be a nope from me, dog. I'm not a gnelf. I'm not a gnoblin. I'm a gnome. Halfling is going in the nope tier. Harangon, I don't know how I need to say this. I don't want to fuck a bunny. Okay, but I don't know how to tell you this. It's like gnope tier is both things that would fit in your hand if you held them up. A pixie is gonna get a gnope from me, man. A gnoblin, that's a gnope from me. We're gonna sort these left to right for within the tier, right? So a goblin is better than a literal fucking furry rabbit. Dragon mark, that's just a human with a dragon mark, right? I'm putting dragon mark in D tier because, hear me out, D tier is for things that if you did you would be risking your own life. Dragon marks notably are cursed by dragons. They usually have a whole bunch of terrible things going on with their body, and they're like spitting fire and they can't control their urges and shit, bro. It's not safe. Human, easy A tier, okay? It's practical. This is practicality. It's easy. They're varied. You got everything you need, okay? This is our baseline perfect, okay? That's an awesome. Humans A for basic. True. Okay, you know what? I'll put it B, okay? I think B is our baseline. Fairy, you're going to nope, but you're higher than goblin. They're just too small. They're like literally, they're like the size of your hand, bro. It's like I don't want to, oh God, I just thought of terrible things. I don't want a fairy climbing inside me, so to speak. Would giants be a gnope, or giants are S tier for big sex? Hear me out. I don't need to hear me out. If it's a girl, I'm gonna climb that fucking mountain. If it's a guy, well, guess what? Easy big sex. You would be a gnope for the giant. Dude, Goliaths are like 10 feet tall. I don't know how to tell you this. Have you ever seen like one of those pictures where it's like a basketball player and they got like a short fucking girlfriend? It's like that. If the 9-foot woman says she wants to give you death by snoo snoo, you say yes. Very true. Hamster and banana picture. Yeah. Hamster and banana. That's what Goliath is. Aasimar. Okay, so I want to put Aasimar in awesome tier because I like the idea of Aasimar. Okay. Now here's the issue. Aasimars can be a whole variety of people here from your celestial revelation. You can have giant wings, searing radiance that makes everything take damage, or it can be a cut my life into pieces that causes fear. So is this standard bread butter CR 1 to 12 of the race or the epitome of the race? I'm just assuming like as a general margin of it. You know what I mean? Edgelord Aasimar is a problem, and you're saying this as an Edgelord Aasimar enjoyer. Aasimar sound like they have a lot of family problems. Yeah, no, Aasimar are like notable for having a ton of issues with family. Edgy Aasimar is A, good guy Aasimar is C. Okay, you know, I don't actually entirely disagree with that, right? That Aasimar could literally apply a fear effect to you. Kalishtar? Is this literally just like someone from Kaladesh? Oh, wait. Oh, this is the dream people. Okay. Dream people gotta get an A tier, right? They can have like crazy brain sex with you. Imagine going to dinner with your parents. Qathrin, this is my mom, Shirley, and this is my dad, Korgoth, destroyer of worlds. Kenku, okay, so Kenku and Aarakocra. Now hear me out. Kenku would be really, really funny, right? Because I don't know if you guys know this about Kenku, but they are crow people, and they don't have the ability to make their own speech. They can only, yeah, confirmed goof sex. Not good sex, goof sex. So you're just gonna go like, and they're gonna go, C tier. C tier. Don't loot the bird. All right, don't loot the bird, guys. Kenku goes from full no to don't touch. Think of the post-sex breakfast omelet. No. But Aarakocra, that's just a furry. That's just a bird furry. You guys are gonna hate me for this. I think elves are C tier, bro. What if elves are C tier, right? They're just people again. Elf is gonna go baseline. Their human elf dwarf is just so baseline. Kath hates femboys. Oh, I didn't think about that. Oh my God, I didn't think about elves. S tier. Elf femboys. I would peg the shit out of an elf twink, dude. I would peg the shit out of an elf twink. Otherwise, the elf is B tier, right? Reminds me of that one 4chan post about elvish women having a bigger, oh my God. You humans really piss us off. If you actually took the time to be friends with an elf, you'd be able to tell pretty quick. But since you're too busy living in houses made of dead trees and lusting after other races, let me give you some pointers. Male elves have eyebrows at a different resting angle. Males have a deeper philtrum grove than females. Female elves have shorter ears than males. And female elves have larger than males. So, moving on. Eladrin, I'm gonna put an A tier. And you wanna know why? It's because they're like elves, but also everything about them tastes like flowers. And I just think that would be really pleasant. So an Eladrin is literally an elf that has an innate link to the Feywild, even more so than their normal elves. And they pick a season that represents them. You can have a winter, a spring, a summer, or an autumn. And I just think that's great. And you know that the bush goes crazy. Okay, so now hear me out. Do not touch a hexblood, because whatever is going on with them, you don't want to be a part of it. They are not a landmine. They are an atomic bomb, girl. Where wishing fails, ancient magic can offer. Hexbloods are infused with eldritch magic, fey energy, and mysterious witchcraft. You don't, dude, you don't. They bargain their deepest wishes. Oh, but they're kind of sexy. Oh, look at that. They're kind of sexy with it, though. Hear me out. I said don't touch it. However, if you did touch it, you'd have a really great time. Kobold? Nope. Reborn? That's a do not touch tier. They are a corpse. Deep Gnome? You're going right next to Gnome. What's a Shadar-kai again? Are those the ones that are really weird about? Oh, they're okay. Got it. They're like dark elves, but instead of Lolth, it's a Raven Queen. Half elf, guess what? You get baseline. Half elf, you get to be right between human and elf. How about that? Tiefling is, that's dangerous, isn't it? Yeah, tieflings are dangerous, but worth it. That's like an obvious one right there. Shifter, they're kind of funny looking. Oh, hold on, but they can animal shift, right? Think about it. Everyone loves a good werewolf. Who doesn't want to fuck a werewolf? Why do I get a feeling you're working on the list of Rule 34? Oh my God. All right, that's going on an awesome tier, I'm gonna say. You get all the benefits of baseline human with added benefits, okay? Satyr, they're just kind of funny. They're getting a C tier for could do. Simic hybrid, hold on. Yeah, Simic Hybrid goes in Do Not Touch. So Simic Hybrid is a Magic the Gathering thing. And specifically, they are like magical eugenicists. They're trying to make the most powerful being. Loxodon is an easy full no. Simic are full no. Verdant, that's a no. That's just a goblin again. Turtle is a full no. I'm not fucking a turtle. But I'm also not fucking a zombie even more than I'm not fucking a turtle. All right, so it gets to go slightly above the reborn. Like Tabaxi is look, isn't that shit spiky down there? I feel like that's gotta be uncomfortable, isn't it? I think that's just a simple no. Do not the cat. Shadar-kai, they can go sitting right next to elf for being a dark elf. Hobgoblin, that's an easy could do. Is Orca a could do or a baseline? What do you guys think? You'd 7 out of 10 in Orc? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Like an Orc has got to be like a could do. It could be a could do. It really depends on the type of orc. I guess a D&D orc. I mean, okay, hold on. Because they did make in the 5.5e handbook, they just made orcs like buff Latinos. Did you see that? In the 5.5 orcs? Hold on, let me see if I can find this. They're just buff Latinos now. Look at them. Mods, can we get a big booty orc Tenix? So here's the thing, right? Here's like the old style orc, right? You know, it's a no. That's gonna be a no, right? But then you just gotta look at her. Look at her. Can we get shadow Latinas in chat, please? I'm gonna put that above a dwarf. Wait, is Vidalkin the zombies? What is Vidalkin? Oh, you're the weird little guy, right? Or you're a Ravnica. You're an MTG race. You can go away. Oh wait, they're taller than humans. Okay, so they're not quite nope tier. Hold on. Are they just blue elves? They're amphibious blue elves. I'm gonna put a Vidalkin at a could do because they're just tall blue people that are sort of like amphibious. So warforged, right? I think that's a could do. That's seeming like a could do. It's like freaking a toaster, except if the toaster loved you. I'm just kidding. So warforged specifically, yeah, so the warforged are just V1 from Ultra Kill, which makes them the most fuckable thing in existence, of course, mind you. So warforged specifically have souls. It's very important. They're just people bound to a machine, or actually it depends on the depiction, because sometimes they're magical. Sometimes they have a soul of a person. Sometimes they're a depiction of a person that isn't necessarily human. Aegis from Persona 3. Yeah, exactly. Aegis from Persona 3 is a great example. So the answer is that shockingly fuckable, potentially dangerous. That's a could do. Half orc, congratulations. You just go next. You're just next to the orc. Sea elf, unfortunately, you're going to go next to the Vidalkin, which is slightly more fuckable than a hobgoblin, which is slightly less fuckable than a warforged. They'd be kind of uncomfortable. They'd be very moist. They'd be very fishy. And it's like, that's just like a Triton is going to have to go right next to a sea elf for just being a sea elf again. You see, we have a sea elf, we have a sea elf, and we have a third sea elf. What else do we have? Owlin. Congratulations, Owlin. You go right next to an Aarakocra, which is probably less fuckable than a Tabaxi, but probably more fuckable than a Loxodon. I think Owlins are cool, so they get to be slightly more fuckable than an Aarakocra. Okay, what else do we have here? Lizard folk could do. Hear me out. Hear me out. I think lizard folk have gone from full no to fuckable. Lizard. 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 Lizard folk have no emotion, but they have double the dick. So like, I mean, you tell me. Firbolg or half giants, they're friendly. Firbolg are they're friendly. They can go right next to the satyr for being kind of fey looking. A hobgoblin is literally an authoritarian goblin who grew up more. All right, sorry, hobgoblins demoted to full no because they're a goblin. So what's a feral tiefling compared to a tiefling? It's a variant of a standard tiefling. Oh, they're tied to a plane. They're more closely tied to a plane. I'm gonna give a feral tiefling. It's a tiefling and they have handlebars, and therefore they're pretty good. A winged tiefling is is just a feral tiefling with wings. Could they consent? They could definitely consent. And they could use the handlebars. Leonin is a slightly more fuckable tabaxi. That's a could do. They're actually upgrading from a full no to a could do with that one. It's because they're Amazons. Yes, it's because they're Amazons. Now you tell me this is not one hell of a fuckable person. Look at her. Nah, bro, you missed the point. Look at those tusks. She could kill you. You don't get to say no to that. Do not the cat. Do not the tabaxi. The tabaxi is way more of a cat than they are. Leonin are like actual just people. Okay, Gis Zerai and Gis Yankee. That's a do not touch. Do not get involved, okay? They are more fuckable than some of the other ones, okay? Do not get brought into that gang war, man. That's just dangerous. Actually dangerous. They might kill you, and someone will definitely show up and try to kill them anyway. Okay, so what do we decide about Asmar? They're just people plus, right? Does that mean they just go there? They're just people twice. Now, I feel like I don't have to explain myself on this one. I feel like this one's very easy. This one's a centaur that's gonna go into big sex. Moving on, Dragonborn. I'm gonna put that in a could do. It's gonna go right next to lizard folk. Wait, what? What do you mean, wait, what? Hold on, let me, dude, hold on. Yeah, thank you, Zeph. Thank you, Zeph. You know what I was about to reference. You literally knew the exact joke I was about to reference. Something, 20 inches of gold ship. Yeah, so true, so true. The Ganassi don't matter. Minotaur's got handlebars. Oh, backshots to a Minotaur girl. Hold on. Here's the issue with the Minotaur. They've got a fucking cow face. And I don't know about you guys. I'm not a furry. I'm gonna put a Minotaur in a could. Maybe above a CL. You don't have to see the face when the cow gives you backshots. Here's the thing. Ganassi, I just don't give a fuck. I just don't have any opinion on Ganassi, I gotta be honest with you. They're just elves, man. They're elementals. Ganassi are people who are infused with the energies of a specific plane, right? I think Ganassi kind of have to naturally go to baseline because they're just every other race combined. Water Ganassi would be kind of wet, so they get to go with the wet people. Tragically, they have been demoted to wet person. And Earth Ganassi is crusty. So I think I'm gonna put them right next to water. And then fire and air Ganassi can be slightly more fuckable. How's that sound? I think that's reasonable. Patton's creating a caste society and wet people are going to be sexless. Oh my god. So if Kath has a one night stand with a water Ganassi, does that make her a wet dog? Oh my fucking god. I'm scared. I don't want a wet dog smell, thank you. Let me think. Okay, I'm gonna bump Aasimar up a bit, and I think I'm gonna call water Ganassi a little bit more fuckable. All right, D&D. Can somebody help me write this tweet? Quick, somebody say something funny in chat. So what's the difference between you and a Goliath compared to you and a small race? Well, no, because Goliaths are not significantly bigger, right? Like a Goliath is just a really big person. It's just LeBron. It's just yo, that magical race will never be ballin'. D&D tier list. The rules don't say gnomes can't play ball, but I do.